You think that text message you just sent was a simple favor for a friend. You think the coworker crying about their bad boss at happy hour is bonding with you. You think the performance improvement plan HR just handed you is actually about improving your performance. You are wrong. If you are dealing with a narcissist at work, someone who gaslights, undermines, and micromanages you, you are not in a personality clash. You are in a legal war. They aren't just trying to annoy you, they are actively building a paper trail to fire you for cause, destroy your reputation, and deny you your severance. Today, we aren't talking about soft skills, holding space, or empathy. I am going to show you how to dismantle a narcissist using the only language they and the court system understand: evidence. You need to understand the battlefield before you can fight the enemy. The first mistake you make is assuming the people around you are your friends. They are not. Even the people you are really close with at work are likely just contextual acquaintances. They are there for a paycheck, just like you. When push comes to shove, if they have to choose between their mortgage and your feelings, they will choose their mortgage every single time. Let me tell you a story about a guy named Joe to illustrate exactly how the narcissist weaponizes your desire to be liked. There was an HR professional, a recruiter, working at a manufacturing plant. He made friends with a line worker, let's call him Joe. They had a lot in common, they built a rapport, and eventually Joe invited the recruiter out for beers with his friends. It felt safe. It felt like normal human connection. At the bar, after a few drinks, Joe asked a seemingly innocent question. "So, what do you think of the new boss?" The recruiter, thinking he was speaking to a friend in a safe space, gave a mild, honest answer. He said, "He's doing well. He's relatively new to the role, so he's still growing and I'm helping him with some things." That was it, a neutral, supportive comment. But by Monday morning, that recruiter was hauled into his boss's office. Why? Because Joe had called the leadership team and claimed the recruiter was spreading rumors that he had no faith in the new boss. Joe twisted an innocent comment into an act of insubordination to gain leverage and stir the pot. The lesson here is brutal but necessary. You have to be very careful with the people you choose to be friendly with at work. When you overshare, even if it seems innocent, it finds a way back to your boss, and suddenly your credibility is destroyed. This brings us to the first tactical rule of engagement: strategic superficiality. You must keep your interactions friendly but strictly professional. You need to run everything you say through a filter. Does this make me look professional or unprofessional? Did you throw up at a nightclub last weekend? Keep it to yourself. Do you have credit card debt? Silence. Do you hate the boss? Tell your dog, not your cubicle neighbor. The narcissist feeds on information. If you tell them about your financial struggles, they know you are desperate and can be bullied. If you tell them you are looking for a new job, they have the ammunition to push you out before you're ready. You must starve them of supply. You are a gray rock. You are boring. You are safe. But silence in the break room isn't enough. In the modern workplace, the narcissist's favorite trap is digital. Employment lawyers see great legal cases destroyed every single day by one thing: old text messages. You might think your text thread with a work bestie is a safe space to vent. It is not. In the eyes of the law, those text messages are evidence. If you ever have to sue your employer for wrongful termination or discrimination, defense attorneys will demand those texts in discovery, and they will use them to destroy your credibility. There are 4 specific texts you must never send to a coworker if you want to survive. The first is the trash talk text. You've had a bad day, your narcissistic boss is micromanaging you, you are angry, so you text your coworker, "I hate my manager, he is such an idiot." This feels good in the moment, but you just handed the company their defense on a silver platter. It's called pretext. If you later sue them for discrimination, the company will use that text to prove they didn't fire you for an illegal reason. They fired you because you were toxic and disrespectful. They will show that text to a jury and say, "See, we fired them because they had a bad attitude." The second trap is the flight risk text. This is where you text a coworker saying, "I'm applying for a job at Google. Don't tell anyone." You think you're sharing a secret. You just killed your constructive discharge claim. Constructive discharge is a legal claim you make when you haven't been fired, but the narcissist made your working conditions so intolerable that you were forced to resign. But if the employer finds a text from 3 months ago where you said you were job hunting, they will argue you weren't forced to quit. You were planning to leave anyway. Your case is dead. The third trap is the bending the rules text. This is the kill shot. Maybe you're running 10 minutes late, so you text your work friend, "Hey, can you clock me in? I'm almost there." It seems like a small favor, but legally, you have just documented time card fraud. This triggers a legal nightmare called the after acquired evidence rule. Even if they fire you illegally today for a discriminatory reason, if they find this text during the lawsuit 6 months from now, they can say, well, if we had known they were committing fraud, we would have fired them for that reason. This can cut off your back pay and your damages entirely. You lose. The fourth text to avoid is the awkward acknowledgement. Let's say a narcissistic coworker sends you an inappropriate, maybe sexually suggestive joke. You're uncomfortable, but you have to sit next to them, so you just reply LOL or send a thumbs up to diffuse the tension. You just walked into the unwelcome standard. If you eventually sue for harassment, the company will show that LOL to the jury and say, look, they thought it was funny. They welcomed the behavior. If you get an inappropriate text, do not laugh, do not respond, or simply say, I don't appreciate that. So, you've locked down your social circle and your digital footprint, but the narcissist is still coming for you. Their next move is to weaponize the institution against you. This is where most people make the fatal mistake. They go to HR. You need to understand that human resources is not your friend. HR's origins are in union busting. Their function today is not to protect you, it is to protect the company from you. And protecting the company often means protecting you. When you go to HR to complain about a narcissist, especially if that narcissist is a high performer or manager, you are marking yourself as a threat. You are the squeaky wheel. You are disrupting the status quo. The open door policy is a trap. It is an early warning system for the company to identify dissenters and squash them. I have seen countless employees go to HR in confidence only to find out shortly after that their complaint was shared with the very person they were complaining about. HR representatives are employees too. They are subservient to management. If your narcissistic boss brings in a lot of money for the company and you're a replaceable admin, HR is not going to fire the rainmaker. They're going to manage you out. They will launch an investigation, but not to find the truth. They are investigating to see if you are a legal liability. They will destroy notes that help you, interview only the witnesses that help the company, and create a report that concludes there was no wrongdoing. So, if you can't trust your coworkers, you can't text your friends, and you can't go to HR, how do you fight back? You stop acting like an employee and start acting like a defendant. You adopt the jury-first perspective. Imagine 12 strangers are watching your every move at work. They don't know you and they don't know your boss. They only know what they can see in the evidence. If you scream, cry, or refuse to do work, you look unstable to a jury. If you remain calm, professional, and document everything, you look like the victim. The narcissist will eventually try to formalize their attack with a write-up or a PIP. A PIP is rarely about improvement. It's a paper trail designed to prove you are incompetent so they can fire you without paying unemployment or facing a lawsuit. The goals in the PIP will be subjective, like improve collaboration or impossible to achieve. When they hand you that write-up, here's exactly how you handle it. First, remain calm. Do not cry. Do not yell. Do not give them the emotional reaction they're feeding on. Second, buy time. Do not sign it immediately. Say, I need some time to process this feedback so I can respond productively. Take the document home. Third, and most importantly, you must submit a written rebuttal. If you do not challenge the write-up in writing, their version of the facts becomes the only version in your personnel file. When you write your response, focus on facts, not feelings. Do not write, my boss is mean and unfair. Write, the write-up claims I was late on Tuesday. Here is the time-stamped email sent from my desk at 8:59 a.m. proving I was working. If they accuse you of missing a deadline, attach the email where you submitted the work on time. If the narcissist is punishing you for something that other employees do all the time without consequence, document that. If you get written up for being 5 minutes late, but the narcissist's favorites are late every day, that's evidence of disparate treatment. This is how you turn the tables. Narcissists hate accountability. When you paper trail their behavior with specific dates, times, and facts, you become high risk to bully. You strip them of their power because you are proving that they are the liability, not you. You need to look for the subtle signs that the end is coming. A sudden shift in attitude is usually the first red flag. If your boss used to be friendly and is suddenly cold and standoffish, or if they start communicating with you only in writing, they are building a case. If you're suddenly excluded from meetings you used to be invited to, or your interesting work is reassigned to someone else, you are being pushed out. This is called managing you out. They want you to quit so they don't have to pay severance. Do not quit. If you quit, you lose your leverage, you lose unemployment benefits in most cases, and you destroy your ability to negotiate a settlement. Let them fire you, but make them fire you with a personnel file full of your rebuttals, your evidence of their disparate treatment, and your calm, professional responses. There is one final trap you need to check for: arbitration. Check your employment contract. Did you sign an arbitration agreement? This clause forces you to give up your right to sue in a public court. Instead, you have to go to a private arbitrator, usually a retired judge paid by the company, who almost always rules in favor of the employer. If you signed this, your leverage is lower, but if you didn't, you are a dangerous threat to them. Dealing with a narcissist at work is not about winning a popularity contest. It is about survival. It is about protecting your income, your career longevity, and your sanity. Stop trying to explain yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. Stop trying to get validation from a system designed to exploit you. Give them silence, give them strategic superficiality, and give them a stack of evidence so thick that HR has no choice but to back down or pay you to leave quietly. The narcissist wants a reaction. Do not give it to them. The narcissist wants you to quit. Do not give it to them. You are not a victim. You are a strategist. And now you have the playbook.